what I'm attracted to in music is a lot like what I'm attracted to in fashion, where it's something that walks the line between almost good and bad in a way, where you're not sure how you feel about it, and then the more you think about it, the more you kind of understand, and you can kind of analyze the references, and I like that a lot. I don't like things that are just immediately like palpable, obvious. It's not as interesting. I grew up in New York, so the idea of manipulation and opportunism, they're not like new to me at all. My parents are pretty, they're both in social sciences, but they're both very into art, and my dad's really into music and sports. In the summer of 7th grade, I probably grew like 3 inches. So I was just like super like lanky and awkward. Of course, everyone always told me to play basketball, and I didn't. And then when I was in 10th grade, I decided that I would, and I loved it, and I was so bummed that I didn't do it earlier. But it's still like a big part of who I am. I think for me, being in fashion, I could not do it without being into sports. When I was in high school, we had to do a thesis. My thesis was on the way you dressed to present yourself to society. And my basic point was, no matter if you like dead against fashion, that is anti-fashion. It's like you are saying something, whether you decide that you want to say nothing, that's a statement still. The way I design is more like about balance and lines and textures and things. It's less about like, oh, I want to make this dress that has this on it. I do draping, which is on a mannequin, so I get to like lay out the dress the way I'm thinking about it and be like, okay, I want to move this like dart here. I like using masculine and feminine is the main balance that I like to work with. But people always think, oh, you're a girl, you must like want to wear your stuff all the time, or wear your stuff or design what you want, and basically like, oh, I've been looking for a blazer, I'm gonna make a blazer. It's like, It's not really fun to design that way, so I try to just take myself out of the equation completely and it's like a clean slate. The last collection was kind of influenced by basketball and things, so it's kind of like draping jerseys, and then the idea of like tying a sweatshirt around your waist. Cobalt and royal blue are really like those kind of like electric colors that people tend to use in uniforms sometimes. And I really had a palette that was like black, white, nude, and then this was the color. So I kind of like to bring in one really strong statement color. I've never really bought florals before, so this is kind of a first for me, but I actually wear it all the time. And since it's so oversized, I feel like it has enough of a masculine vibe for me, and I wouldn't wear it with something, I'd wear it with like cut-off shorts just to balance it out. The same kind of vibe that I'm always trying to get, which is like covered up but not covered up, and revealing but not. And so I think it's just the perfect dress, because it's nice to wear clothes that draw attention, but I think if it says more about you than you're saying about you, then it's kind of pointless. Yeah, I pretty much always buy black ankle boots. It's kind of like, my mom makes fun of me every time I'm like, oh, I like these. She's like, I wonder why they're black ankle boots. I'm obsessed with scent, actually. So right now I wear White Suede by Tom Ford. It's funny because when I design, I have a candle that I light to help me get in the zone. Music in the shows is second to the clothing. It's probably the most important thing to me. It defines the collection so much and really leaves an impression on people. Sometimes I'll listen to Alice Coltrane or Ornette Coleman or people who, just a little bit, it's challenging, and I like that. So yeah, I've been looking at pictures of Georgia O'Keeffe a lot, actually, and she had kind of an amazing style. So I kind of like looking at women like that, where it was a comfort of self that made them so beautiful. You think about all the artists and all the musicians who weren't appreciated during their time because they were making things that were like a little bit scandalous, and that's what outlasts. Like, people aren't attracted as much to just pure beauty. I like to always make things that I feel like are pretty wearable in a way. They have an edge, but there's something that's gonna outlast trends and really be something that you can wear over and over again without someone always being like, oh, that's that dress that you wore that one time. All the fashion designers I've met, I've really got along with, because we understand each other's struggle a lot. Fashion week is like finals week. I stay up till 3 working every day, and you just know that the end is in sight and you know that something exciting is going to happen because of it. You just have to understand that like we're so lucky to be able to have clothing lines, so that's the payoff. You gotta pay your dues. I'm a little bit scared of risk, and I think sometimes I have to push myself to really like take a step creatively, because I'll have an idea and I'll kind of like veto myself and censor myself from making it. You have to keep your brain active, you know, you can't, I feel like if you just go in one direction so strongly, it actually hurts you more because you're never hearing another side. The idea of being a strong, really powerful, well-rounded human being that's a woman, point of feminism where it was like acting like a man, dressing like a man, and I think we've moved beyond that to where it's like celebrating womanhood and at the same time realizing that we're not stereotypes, we're not, you know, you don't have to feel bad about wanting to look pretty and wanting to be attractive. It's not always about what a man thinks. It's like, this makes me feel good. I think that's really what I try to do, is empower women through making things that make them feel comfortable physically and emotionally.